What we're seeing is a tragedy in the making, with potentially a terrible planning decision that would result in Smart Center's plans to construct a 7-hectare, totally suburban big box center anchored by a Walmart, 2,000 surface parking spaces, and with the additional proviso that if that's successful, as was mentioned before, more lands to the east would fall into the same pattern. This would add, of course, to what's already happened there with Price Chopper and Canadian Tire, and it's not too difficult to imagine that this entire stretch turns into the proverbial suburban mall strip with a total denial of everything the city has worked for almost 2 decades. There is a violent collision of these two visions for the future, and the province is directly involved through Waterfront Toronto in what happens on the south side of the street. You can't clap with one hand. You can't have one side of the street trying to be one thing and the other side of the street is rapidly turning into something else. The sad truth here is that the OMB has become the de facto planning board for Toronto, a role that it was never set up to fulfill. It's a very humiliating and uncomfortable form of discussion. It's exactly the wrong way to talk about city building issues. City building issues are about getting different constituents together, working things out. They require a roundtable method. They require the ability to do something which the OMB is absolutely unable to do, which is to consider the cumulative effects of multiple decisions in an area. So, for example, the OMB, in considering this, has no ability to think about what's happening in the Portlands to the south, has no ability to think about the impacts on Queen Street and retail on Queen Street, has no ability to think about this bigger vision that the city has set out for itself. Historically, this area was an impenetrable barrier between Riverdale and the waterfront. Those conditions really have the potential to change. One of the greatest potentials here is to overcome that barrier, to make multiple connections that would allow not access to surface parking lots, but pedestrians and cyclists and people in the community to get down to their waterfront, to get down to the new Lake Ontario Park, which is forming at the bottom of that image. This overall picture offers one of the greatest opportunities for a new frontier in the city, an opportunity for a combination of employment, residential, cultural uses, retail, to flourish in what is one of our most valuable resources, which is a mix of older buildings and new buildings. You have only to look at what's happened in the King Spadina and King Parliament nearby to see the incredible amount of reinvestment that can occur in these older industrial areas, and with a very substantial increase of employment as well as people living. As Richard Florida, who has now come to live in our city, has often pointed out, people who work in the creative industries and the knowledge-based industries are looking for quality of life. This area offers the opportunity, with the opening up of the waterfront, with all the things that are happening here, building on the older neighborhoods, to provide a remarkable quality of life that would be just the kind of thing that would attract, and has already attracted, those creative industries and would bring people to this area. It has transit, it has all of the amenities of a neighborhood, it has everything to be successful. So that is the opportunity cost. That is what we're losing if this OMB decision comes to pass. Clearly, we need a decision here, and we need a decision quickly to stop this from being yet another sacrifice. And I and all my colleagues are really urging the minister and the province to step in here in this extraordinary situation, which is in such violent conflict with what the province is trying to do with its other hand, and to declare this a matter of provincial interest and return to the city its rightful ability to make real decisions here. Thank you very much.